Hello, and today I wanted to talk about creating a better experience with your online learning. So, we've been in a digital setting pretty much since the beginning of the school year, and after February 10th school board meeting, it looks like the majority of us are going to continue learning in an online setting. Some of you already may have picked up on some really good practices and skills that can help make the online learning experience a little less stressful and a good way of learning. However, I do still get a lot of questions and hear remarks about those who are still trying to learn the best ways to get the most out of online learning. Now, I get it. This is a new way of thinking and focusing on your schoolwork. It took a while for me to find my groove when I was doing my master's degree in a 100% online program. You have to change how you approach learning and being taught by your teachers. So, from one student to another, here are some tips that hopefully help you out. Tip number one, change your mindset. The average mindset regarding online learning is that it isn't learning or you're not being taught. That's not true. If anything, online learning can be more rigorous as well as provides more opportunity for you, the student, to practice your critical thinking and problem solving skills outside of your classroom. You still have classes. I mean, we're still having to meet on Zoom in the afternoons. You have assignments and reading to complete for your class, and you'll still have to talk to your teachers. What you now have to do is in your mind, you have to recognize you're the boss of your education for the most part, which leads me to tip number two. Be your own boss. The biggest difference and perhaps the best opportunity you have from doing online learning is to become a master at self-discipline. You now have a level of control you did not have before, but with great power does come great responsibility. So you have to find your inner boss and find your focus. In school, you had bells to tell you when you had to get to class, when class was over. You had a teacher to redirect you when you were getting off task with an assignment or listening. Now, in Zoom, you may find some of your teachers are still doing that to some degree, but at the same time, it's now on you to create your daily schedule so that you get to class on time, you have the chance to eat lunch, that you're alert and active during discussion. You have to be on yourself to stay focused in a lesson. And you have to find, apply, and complete assignments by directing yourself to do it. Navigating Canvas on your own, not having a teacher telling you where to go all the time. In other words, you're your own boss. You're telling yourself what to do. And because of that, this is where tip number 3 comes in. So, tip 3, create a schedule or a routine just for yourself. So when I was enrolled in the online learning and the requirements for my course were very rigorous, and I had all these different due dates and deadlines to meet, not to mention, I also had work on top of it. I was teaching full time, so a schedule was necessary. You may have other things going on for you, like chores you have to make sure are done while your parents are out at work, or taking care of your siblings and balancing your course load too. I mean, there's lots of things that I know you have to deal with. A schedule, a routine, or something like that will actually help you out. So make sure you're creating a balanced schedule. Plan for the times that you need to meet deadlines, doing assignments, working on your homework, as well as include activities that have nothing to do with school, such as spending time with family, or making sure that you have time to babysit when you need to, or make sure that, the dishes get done when they're supposed to. So that way, sparing yourself being yelled at by your parents, okay? Make sure also, and it's really vital, that you schedule time for doing things that you want to do, things that you enjoy. For example, my mother and I really enjoyed going to the movies a lot, but during my whole entire schedule, that wasn't always a possibility when I was getting my master's degree online. So she sometimes had to book 2 weeks in advance to spend time with me. I mean, it's a sacrifice, but nothing ventured, nothing gained. And this is your education, so it'll lead you to different futures too. And then last but not least, always make sure in your routine that you're allowing for sleep time and you time where you get to just be yourself, nothing else. Maybe you're just reading a book or doing deep breathing or listening to music. And then, of course, sleep is essential. At your age, you're supposed to be getting anywhere from 8 to 10 hours of sleep for full brain functionality. Now, I know with today's day and age, that's not possible all the time, but you should at least be trying to get 6 to 7 hours. Just saying, preferably 8. And that sometimes requires telling yourself, I need to go to bed now instead of playing a video game. It's not easy, trust me. I've made bad decisions too about that, but sleep is essential. And just remember that when you're creating your schedule, you have other tools available to you to help you create it. Canvas Calendar gives you your due dates and schedules that way. We have the schedule for your Zoom classes posted on the school website. Not to mention, you can always find different methods of keeping track of it. You can get a daily planner from Dollar Tree, and I'm also going to be including some links to some calendar templates for you if you wish to use them for creating a schedule or a routine. Okay, enough about that. Tip 4. Communication is vital. Your teacher no longer has the luxury of being able to spot you in the hallway or seeing you across the room struggling with your assignment. And majority of you still have your cameras off. So it's even harder for teachers to know when you're struggling or confused by a concept that we're trying to teach you. So it is imperative, very, very necessary, vital, all of those words that mean please do so, for you to communicate with us when you have a question. Ask your questions on Zoom, whether it's typing it into the little chat or actually unmuting yourself and saying it out loud. I know it's kind of anxious because you don't always see everybody else, but trust me, I guarantee you there's somebody else in the class having that same question and having that inner struggle of whether or not to ask it. Also, if maybe you didn't think of it during the lesson, but as you're working on the assignment, you have questions, you can message your teachers through Canvas, Clever, or just email them directly. Visit them during their office hours. Most of your teachers have office hours in the mornings so that they can help you with one-to-one time, as well as so your parents or guardians can talk to them too if they need. Genuinely, all of us want to help you out. We don't want to make this more difficult. We want to know when you have a question, because that's what part of our job. We got into this to help people, and you are people. So please don't be shy or embarrassed that you want to actually ask a question or continue a discussion on a further topic. Your teachers will love hearing from you, and we would love to actually have those conversations and know what we need to continue teaching you. So, communication. Okay, number 5, tip 5. Have rewards and consequences. I know this sounds really crazy, but part of being self-disciplined is being self-motivated. And it's normal to actually want something in return. But as you're being your own boss, it's on you to give yourself that reward. So to stay focused, try and give yourself rewards for getting good grades, getting an assignment in on time, things like that. And also have consequences for yourself. Now, these are a few that I actually used on myself when I was actually in online school, or some that actually was recommended to me by some teachers and parents. So, for example, if you want to get into the mindset, if you attend all your Zoom classes 2 days in a row, you get to play your favorite video game for 1 whole hour straight. No guilt, no need to do homework or anything like that, and enjoy yourself. Genuinely relax. But if you don't, you're scrubbing all the bathroom toilets. So balance it out and hold yourself accountable to it too. Or homework. I usually totally and honestly would spend about 2 to 3 hours a night on homework for my schoolwork. To get through that, it was rather stressful, and some nights I just wasn't motivated. But you want to know what I am motivated to have? Dessert. I like cakes. I like cookies. So I started telling myself, okay, Kelly, if you get your homework done tonight, before you go to bed, you get to have a little slice of cake. So that's what I did. And I worked my way through it. And my consequence was, if you don't, you have to eat vegetables for breakfast in the morning. And trust me, it only took one breakfast of vegetables for me to not do my homework. And those are just some different examples you can do. Like for 30 minutes of reading for class, you get 30 minutes of going outside and running around the house or something like that, or going to the park for a little bit to swing, if you're able to. Consult your parents about possible rewards and consequences that would be good for you to use and have in your mind to kind of reward yourself for doing great with what you have to do with online learning, and at the same time hold yourself accountable for when you lose that focus and motivation. Again, bosses do it too. So those are the 5 basic tips I have for you guys. Online learning is very new to public education. It's not new to education. And just remember, your teachers are still here teaching, and they're still trying to provide support. And they're also trying to learn technology as they're doing that so they can continue to provide you with support. Even if you don't always see us on a daily basis, we're still just a message away. And one of the hardest obstacles you may face with working from home is having the self-discipline, the self-motivation, and the self-awareness required to do better at online learning. Now, there's always other things outside there too that make it difficult, but this is just focusing on you as the person, the thing you can control. But the cool thing is that your teachers and your librarian are right there for you. Our virtual doors are open to you guys with whatever questions you need. I'm here to help with tech support, as well as if you're needing research content or mastering something like a life skill such as creating schedules. Believe it or not, organization is a life skill that I can help you with. And just remember to stay focused on the bigger picture that eventually we will get through this. Eventually you will get your education. And if anything from this experience, you will master a life skill of self-discipline, which is something that there are still many adults that I even know are struggling with that. So that's all I have for today. Thank you for taking the time to listen.